Welcome back, folks. After an explosive game one, we're into the picks and ban phase of game two. Picks and bans are already out. Cog, Osiris, and Circuit off the table, while Team Dignitas takes away Zhonghui and Giannis. Cognitive really doesn't want to deal with Alaz's on the top of his game.
Yeah, but once again, it's Mercury. This time first picked, and yeah, it makes sense. But they're not going to let Ra go through this time. You won't was just too powerful on that character. I like the denial. We'll see what's the deeper points of Yuant's God Pool. I mean, he's still a strong player. Honestly, just in my brief experiences of him, seeing him in competitive play, I want to say his limiting factor might be attitude. We'll see if there's any limit at all, though. I mean, given last game, I expect a lot.
I like the choices coming out from Cog. Mercury and Thor with Circuit and Osiris banned. Laz's gonna have to go Nemesis and have to go Adhere, or else Cog will likely ban it out.
That said, Okay, so Nemesis can punish Bacchus really hard because the way you play Bacchus is you jump in and start fighting, and Nemesis can go, okay, you jumped in, you don't have a way out, let me just ult you and kill you. Instead, it's going to be Chalk, so we might see Lassus on something else. Immediate Giannis ban. They don't want to deal with that again. The rotations were too good. The portals were too good. Stealth just really played a great Giannis.
Yeah, Aphrodite coming out in the counter ban right there, and they're going to ban out Apollo. So they're not going to let Zapman play Apollo right here. I like the choice for Chalk. We talked at length about how Xing was a non-factor in that last match, and we talked a little bit about it, how Chalk worked out very well for Xing, and because that's the solo lane choice that Xing played well, but Xing's good choice of Loki didn't really pull it off. So we're going to see Laz's on Bastet, which is a throwback choice, and a choice that Laz's is generally good with. Not picking the Nemesis allows Cognitive to really pick whatever they want. They're going to go Ao Kwang, and Barracuda's gonna. We'll see if this Mercury is gonna wind up in the solo lane or the hunter lane. I know that Barracuda prefers the traditional hunters a little bit more so than Mercury, but you never know with this influx of Flavor of the Month Merc.
Yeah, he did play it in one of the earlier games in our tournament, so it's definitely something he's capable of playing and comfortable on. We'll see what happens. And it's gonna be Chang'e for the solo lane, so they're assuming it's a. I actually don't like this Chang'e. Chang'e gets Chalk, I think, is dangerous. We'll see how Yuant plays it. He is very, very
it's up to
good
him
on the character. But yeah, we saw Yuant play well last game. Now we get to see Yuant play well under adverse circumstances. Cupid versus Mercury.
The Rigger. Ladies and gentlemen, Cupid is a low-tier hunter. Definitely one of the worst. But Zapman, showing off that diamond skin, has put in tons of hours on Cupid, have pulled him out in competitive play in the past, and definitely knows what he's doing. Cataclysm can secure the ultimate Fields of Love, which is generally Cupid's Achilles heel. Not really able to nail that, so to speak, but with a global stun, that's kind of good. So we're going to see if Cupid can actually pay dividends here, or if Zapman's just going to fall with the low-tier hunter.
It's definitely going to be an interesting matchup. I'm excited to see the Yuant Chang'e versus Xing Chalk. Could be a big turnaround from last game. Stealth Kwang versus Na on Ra. I mentioned a little bit about, what might become his playstyle, and I think Ra definitely fits that. And then Lassus on Bastet. I mean, it's a throwback. And Bastet is really just Lassus's deep pool jungler. He's like, all right, the main ones are banned away, picked. That's fine. I'll just play Bastet, and I'm excited to see what he can do with those cats in this match. Stay tuned, guys. Cognitive Gaming versus Team Dignitas Game 2. Dignitas trailing by 1. We'll see if they can recover.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Game 2 of your Battle for Olympus Finals presented by Smite Central. Cognitive Gaming took the first game in spades, punishing Dignitas' recent roster changes as their synergy just kind of set the course for the match. They wound up winning by 5 digits of gold. So Cognitive Gaming off to a good start. Dignitas is going to try and provide some resistance and make it to a game 3 with an interesting lineup that I actually really like.
Alright, you guys know the players. On Cognitive Gaming, it's going to be Anister in your jungle role, Barracuda playing your ADC Mercury, flavor of the month, MZ Stealth on mid lane Kwang, Jeff Hinla back on Bacchus, and you won't in the solo lane is Chunga. For Dignitas, it's Xing in the solo lane, Lasses in the jungle, they're going to be Chalk and Bastet respectively, in the middle lane Na on Ra, Dare to Care, support Geb, and Zapman on Zupid. But, you know, we were talking about it off the air, and F-Dot, why don't you take this one?
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of this this Cupid pick. Basically, because we talked before about how ADC Mercury has to be controlled rather than fought, and that's exactly what Cupid does. With a Cupid Geb lane, Geb has that shield, so you don't want to attack the carry. You want to attack the Geb itself. Heart Bomb is going to stop special delivery because you get heart bombed a couple of times, you will die, and ulted. And if you decide to special delivery Cupid himself, he'll just dash away. Uncontested. So Cupid is a good choice. He's going to control the lane by just having potential damage with that heart bomb, and he can get away with a dash that is a football field worth of length.
Yeah, it's a very, very long dash. Actually, it does a lot, too. It gives him attack speed, which is honestly rarely useful, but it also creates a move fast field, a little bit similar to the Atlas of the Yellow River, which is very helpful for Geb, who has to reposition the old-fashioned way, or maybe roll away. Speaking of rolling in this lane, I don't think Geb's going to have the most difficult time doing so. We'll see what does happen. I love watching Cupid in competitive. He definitely has his foibles, I want to say. He's a very, very unique character, and most of the time, that doesn't work in his favor, but Zapman plays Cupid at a very high level. Strangely enough, so does Barracuda. They're probably the two best Cupid players in the world.
Very true. That was actually going to be the stat that I brought up as well. In addition to all this tactics and stuff we're talking about, Zapman also just plays a lights-out Cupid, believe it or not. So that's something that Cog is going to have to be wary of. Barracuda getting dashed on. Good heart bomb from Zapman. Level 2, jump in. That's a stun. Couple of basics needed, but Jeff Hinla providing the screen, preventing any additional damage coming out from that Hunter. Well played by the support and his carry counterpart, and Zapman already looking to punish this Mercury pick.
And what's super interesting about the level 2 jump in is it's becoming more complex. Zap walked into lane at level 2, then waited, and at the end of level 2 jumped in. So it's still the same strategy, it's just delayed tactically. He went in when he knew that he would hit level 3 soon, and he could back up and hit that level 3 and keep Barracuda from getting that farm a little bit later. So very, very good play from Zapman there. And the other thing I just want to mention, since they both play Cupid, they're both very good at it. I feel like Barracuda's thinking, man, I wanted to play Cupid.
Instead goes for the Mercury pick. Laz is lurking in the jungle. There's no vision here, but I think they just spotted him face spot with the eyes. He's going to jump over to the speed buff. Laz is fighting on Anister, not able to secure anything, but can pounce right back thanks to that mechanic.
Yeah, that's one of the most powerful things that Bastet can do is the jump in, jump out. And when you can do it from a location where your jump back is safe, it's super effective. Thor in the left jungle. He's ulting. Might have been heard. We'll see what happens. Landing down onto 2. Dare to Care is the target as Geb doesn't have a good way out. He's going to start rolling, but Barracuda finds that lucky crit for 143. Now Zapman able to dash away. He's regenning with a health bot, but at about 300 health, and Cognitive Gaming looks really good here.
That's the dash we were talking about. Cupid able to get out of problems. No sweat. Gonna wade in this pool. It is the heal from Gnaw. Good rotation there from Gnaw. I'm glad we see him on the Ra. It fits the Isis playstyle a little bit better than it fits the Scylla playstyle, and we already see it. Rotations coming out defensively rather than offensively. I'm just gonna show up so you don't have to go back, Zapman. Here's a heal. Not, I'm gonna come and try to dish out as much damage as possible, which I think befits the character himself.
Lass is in a lot of trouble. Nice stone shield, but it's not gonna... Oh no, so Dare to Care cast the stone shield at his feet, and it targeted onto Dare. That's not really something you can control. It's not even a mechanic. Well, it is a mechanical misstep, but the mistake isn't in Dare to Care's aim. It's in his positioning. You have to not be that close to your ally to ensure that that doesn't happen. It's really unfortunate. It's just one of those character flaws, a little bit similar to Aphrodite trying to stun people in a line that are beyond her front line. She just ends up switching her kiss target, doesn't end up stunning, and you just have to play around it.
Yeah, one of the great Aphrodite players, able to really weave those kisses in and out. No longer on either of these teams. Shadow Q gone from Team Dignitas, replaced by Dare to Care. So, you know, that's what we're seeing. Dare to Care is the Geb player, but still can make missteps like that. A lot of pressure on a Barracuda, but he spots it out. So instead, they're just going to steal his blue buff, which will hurt his poke from the Mage Look spam.
Yeah, now Mage Look is honestly a fairly cheap ability, so Barracuda's not going to be too hurt, but he's still going to be on the defensive. And, you know, because you don't stack on Mercury, you still want to get last hits. They give you more gold, but not getting them isn't as much of a problem as it could be. Enister in a bit of a tough spot. Shing is going to show up, but silenced out. Enister gets taken down. Nah, going to ult just for good measure, and Lassus jumps in to get a speed buff. That was Enister making a Shing-inspired play.
Yeah, just complete reckless abandon, going for the solo invade. Doesn't quite get the speed buff, trades his life for not much, so that's going to be a knack mark against the Cognitive Gaming jungler, but he'll be able to get out playing Thor at level 7. Good Thor right there as well, and Lass is on that cat. Barracuda has finished his golden bow, so he'll be able to clear the wave a little bit easier.
Yeah, Lassus is lurking in the area. Mercury does have his ultimate available. Thor is up, but comes down a little too far away. Will Dare to Care get walled off? Yes, he will. Sonic Boom connects with the wall, stuns out Zapman. Spirit Tempest will find Lassus, doesn't find Zap, but Special Delivery does, and Cog is playing the team fights in the way that suits them the best. When you have a spread out, chaotic, confusing engagement, more often than not, you find that Cog just kills everybody individually. They've always done that, and it's their thing.
It really is. You know, that was just attention to detail and synergy. The wall came out, the Sonic Boom allowed Mercury to do what he does, and just good understanding of the mechanics.
In the left-hand lane, Barracuda blocking autos to ensure that Gnaw takes damage from the archers. It's a cheeky play that you occasionally see mid laners pull off. It's interesting to see Gnaw pull that off on Merc ADC. Giving a good-natured taunt, too, so just, you know, good fun. In the middle lane, Enister getting aggressive. Nice double tap on the Lasses. Better shield, though. You won't in the area. Does have Waxing Moon. We'll see what happens as Lassus jumps in, takes a lot of damage, jumps right back out. Here's Chalk with a Storm Call. Getting damage onto Stealth, but Stealth going into boots will be able to reposition. I do want to mention, penetration is incredible, so these pen boots are going to give him a lot more damage than you might expect. Upwards of effectively 100 magic power. With the red buff, probably effectively more.
7 minutes into this match, we're seeing Cognitive Gaming with a 2,000 gold lead. Again, an early gold lead going the way of Cog. And again, from pestering this dual lane. They are feeding off of the fact that Dare to Care and Zapman haven't had a long time to really synergize with each other. And whether or not that's a real problem remains to be seen. But Cognitive, the fact of the matter is, Cognitive is really just wrecking this dual lane 2 games in a row.
Yeah, they're really controlling the dueling. Zapman hasn't been able to do what we really wanted him to do. Lassus does find a kill in the solo lane. Not in a bit of trouble. I do want to mention, let's talk about pen boots. I mentioned them before, but now I've got a concrete example. Nah opted to go cooldown boots on Ra, which is great for utility, fits his playstyle. Here's what he's giving up. As a level 9 Ra, with the build he has, his Celestial Beam with 70% scaling would actually hit as if he had 50 more magic power if he had pen boots as opposed to cooldown boots. That's what he's giving up for an extra 15% cooldown reduction that slides into his build rather nicely. He's not going to be getting blue buffs in the middle lane, so he's not wasting the CDR from blue, and I like the choice but it's always important to know what you're giving up when you make these itemization decisions, and people underestimate Pen so much.
Lane.
Speaking of which, Xing, he got penetrated pretty hard, but Andy could be in trouble. Thunderstrike finds the kill. Just took one too many hits from the tower.
Yeah, Xing turned around on that perfectly. A lot of times you see people run away because they're taking a lot of aggression. Xing, understanding the situation, gets the silence on Thor, so he can't quite use the hammer to get out. And one more axe throw will secure the kill. Gold Fury being looked at by both teams. It's about half death right now. Dare to Care gets a good stun onto Jeff Hinla. And down comes the Fields of Love. And that's going to pop. Naw's going to kill Jeff Hinla, though. And there's 4 members in red, but Barracuda's full HP and might be able to take them all. Special delivery dodged out by Lazes. Now Barracuda has to escape. Zapman stuck between a rock and a hard place. MLC Stealth annihilates him with 600 damage worth of a Ghost Dragon. While Xing rotates all the way over, Barracuda comes as well. And now it's 1-on-2, but here comes Andy. Berserker Barrage on 1, Berserker Barrage on 2. Gnaw goes down. Andy takes the double kill. And that's going to secure their lead. Still 2,000 gold. Messy team fight, but Cog comes up on top.
You know, I think it's safe to say that Barracuda is comfortable on this Merc ADC.
Very comfortable.
Yeah. I actually... I mean, that is, like, at the level of his Apollo play. He just straight up fought an entire team.
Yeah.
An entire team! And he lived! He did so much damage there. Lass is trying to get something off of it, but Jeff Hinla shows up. We'll use Hog to confirm that blue buff for his ADC, not even taking it for himself. And Bacchus players are always tempted by the blue. Always.
Yeah, I mean, that last engagement cred is just a testament to Barracuda. And
yeah.
One of the things that, you know, Barracuda always gets lauded for is...
Wait, look at his player damage. 8,000. Next closest
Andy's
is like 3.
Andy's landing in the back line, all the way on the damage camp. Dare to Care taking a lot of damage, but gets the stun out. Zapman being zoned by a single Bacchus. This is another messy fight from both these teams, Kret. Ultimate from MLC Stealth, gonna hit nothing at all. But they're gonna pick up Zapman, and they're gonna pick up Dare to Care. Another duo lane wipe from the blue team onto Dignitas.
And that kill, well, would have happened anyway, but a big part of why it happened when it did was the golden bow doing cleave damage onto both Dare and Zap both ways. You can't really body block when your opponents cleave. A nice storm call coming through Sonic Boom to apply some stun. Jeff Hinla just barely gets it. Will die soon after. Barracuda's really, really doing well on this Mercury. I want to see more unconventional picks from him because this is just incredible.
Barra zoned out 2 members of the enemy team by himself. Xing actually played that unbelievably.
Yeah.
Fantastic axe throw with the torrent, with the silence, and Jeff just committed. Jeff stayed there, waited out the silence, got the hog. I'll tell you right now, though, if Xing had a hog 3, that was a Team Dignitas Gold Fury.
Yeah, it was, and unfortunately he didn't.
It's got sprint. Oh, well.
Honestly, which is probably for the best. I mean, it's just one of those situations where just like, well, if he did, it would have been. But probably Cog wouldn't have gone for the gold for under those circumstances. And also, 3 hogs on one team is just kind of too many wasted actives, right? Like, 2 is really the sweet spot, I think.
I would say so.
And honestly, junglers are really good at hogging stuff. I mean, Thor comes down from the sky, stuns everyone again, and then hogs? Sure, That's incredible. He could do great damage too while he's at it. And Lasses can jump in from a wall, hog, and jump out, right? One of the few hog steals that's actually safe, whereas everyone else you kind of go in, you're like, I'm probably going to die for this, but I might get Fire Giant.
Yeah, I like the junglers with hog 3. Yeah. Hunter matchup, well, duo lane matchup individually right here. Zapman level 10, Barracuda a whopping level 14, and definitely flexing a little bit. Sitting on the front yard. Here comes Andy, diving in the back. Zapman very low. Scratch that. Zapman dead. Anderson claims the kill. And here comes Dare to Care trying to make something happen with Lazarus in the back line. Good double stun and some damage on top of it. Cat jumps over the wall, looking for a death. Anderson trying to make it out, but no, hits him through the rock. And now we got 2 members very low. Good storm call. Lazarus is going to pick up Jeff Hinla in the back line. Barracuda just needs to get out of here, and he realizes it. and Dignitas is going to walk away. That's a 2-for-1 trade going the way of Team Dignitas. One of the few fights going the way of the red team.
Yeah, Stealth, though, he's still here. He does have his ultimate, so he can take this fight if he plays it right. Instead, big rotation out from all of Team Dignitas, especially Xing. There's always a cost rotating from the solo lane. In this case, it's going to be 60% of the solo lane tower. So while it was a great fight from Dignitas, it was a 5v4, which explains why what happened did happen. That said, Dignitas knows how to play from behind. It's honestly been one of their trademarks, and finding 5v4s is exactly what you need to do.
Yes. Ultimate coming out from Gnaw to get rid of the entire wave, so Barracuda can't really pressure this mid tower too hard. Mid tower 50%, solo lane tower, one tower already down, other one 50%. Andy in the air looking for the fight over on the right side, misses the stun, but looking at Xing, good shield coming out from Dare to Care. Yuwon's gonna fall down to the axe throw. Xing's gonna do a good job right there, and Jeff Hindla forced again out of a fight. Cognitive was running all of these fights before, Kret. Their lead was extreme. Now we take a look at the graph, and it's dipping towards the red side, ever so slightly, but Dignitas is collecting themselves and winning these individual fights.
Jeff in a bit of a tough spot. Stealth's going to drop a tornado. It's going to hit Dare to Care and reapply once, I believe. Intoxicate comes out from Jeff, but it's going to come out slightly too early. Spirit Tempest comes through, annihilates the cat. Stealth in trouble, uses beads. Zapman finds Andy in the other side of the engagement. Stealth just barely surviving the snipe. Just barely missing. Can Barracuda contest the Fire Giant? Probably yes.
Here comes Barracuda by himself, stunned out by the Dare to Care ultimate, and immediately Dignitas turns their eyes onto the special delivery man, and he goes down. Not enough to really get a kill, or not enough to do anything but get a kill. Fire Giant's going to stay alive, as Dignitas did take a lot of poke for that. At the end of the day, the AoE damage from Fire Giant is very real. So that objective that they wanted, not quite going their way, but they've shaved the lead to 3,000 gold. As I said, Dignitas keep winning these smaller engagements. Cognitive, on the other hand, keep taking down objectives.
So Barracuda there got turned on immediately, taken down very quickly, but he bought enough time for his team. I want to talk really quick about Na's build. So he bought a Warlock Sash at about the 14-minute mark. With perfect stacking, it takes 8 minutes to max that Warlock Sash. Oh, Zapman interrupted out of his dash. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Dare to Care is going to blink in to use his shield. Zap's very low. Stealth finds Na on the other side. Jeff in a lot of trouble. Andy is up, comes down onto 3. Spirit Tempest will find Dare, and Dare's going to get very low. Lassus jumps in place. He could be in trouble. Answer's going to clean that one up. Stealth is going to kite in the tornado, and Xing is going to go down. Barracuda rotates in. Hey, what's up, guys? Dare to Care is now in trouble.
Forced to back, but he's stuck between 4 members wearing blue jerseys right here, Kret. Dare to Care is undoubtedly going to go down.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of when, and they take him quickly. They're going to turn to this left-hand tower. Again, it's still early in the game, so these characters aren't down for a long time. Don't really have time to go for across-the-map Fire Giant. Opt for the easy objective, take the tower, and Zapman, just rezzing, might die a second time.
Ooh, worth.
Barra trades.
That was worth for Zapman. First of all, because Zapman would go worth, and second of all, because Barracuda is literally worth more gold. So nice play from Zapman there. Gold Fury was going to probably go to. Actually, you know what? I think Zap might have been able to stop this Gold Fury with his Fields of Love and his Heart Bomb. But oh well. Either way, I think Zap made a decent decision there at the very least. But 7,000 gold and 8,000 experience in favor of Cognitive Gaming. They're playing very well this match, as they did last match. And now the question is, the big thing, the next breakpoint is when the mages get penetration. It should be their next item, both for Stealth and Gnaw. And I think part of the problem is Gnaw being more of a utility player. You could see a lack of magical damage on Dignitas, as Utility Raw doesn't do quite that much damage, and Geb doesn't do quite that much damage.
Yeah, one of the problems here, Kret, is I think that Gold Fury is going to be one of the bigger moments of this match. Dignitas was making a comeback, a very slight, calculated comeback, which is generally what you have to do when you're down a drastic amount just 15 minutes into the match. Win individual fights, find the smaller objectives, and that Gold Fury happened after a bad fight for Dignitas, and that Gold Fury kind of cemented Cognitive's lead at the moment. It's very real, and not just scoreboard, but mentally that's gotta hurt.
Dare to Care in trouble. Thor's up in the air and will come crashing down onto 2. Nah gets destroyed as well. Annenster. Spin to win. Very important. Yeah, he's 7 and 8.
Kills number 7 and 8 for Annenster.
Oh, okay, yeah.
4 and 8's the slash line on that floor.
Like, wait, he's 7 and 8?
Destroying stuff. Annenster taking down Lazarus to 50% with a single Berserker Barrage. Not even needing the hammer. Lazarus might get away from here. Abandoning the Fire Giant is Cognitive Gaming. And they're going to turn on Shing instead. Bounce up, Jeff Hindla gets the kill. Nobody's going to get Fields of Loved. Barracuda will actually run into it, but Zapman going to suffer again. All the way on the other side of the map this time. Dead to Andy. Kill number 10 for the Thor player.
If you want to take something away from this match, I think one of the biggest things, well, 2 things. First of all, Barracuda is really comfortable on Mercury, but second of all, look at the way Andy plays Thor. He's using his auto attacks to a great extent. Dare to Care is very important to kill here. He has to get taken down. Look at that cheese CC. They drop Waxing Moon just to make sure Dare to Care dies before any kind of sorcery could possibly get him the Fire Giant, because Cog wants to end this match. They also want a speed buff.
That's the game. Dignitas sees the writing on the wall. They're going to go ahead and press F6 and surrender just before the 20th minute of this match. Cognitive Gaming 24 kills, Dignitas 13.
What great play coming out from Cognitive in this match. Really, really destructive play.
Yeah.
What do you think was the linchpin here?
Honestly, I think it's you won't really performing at a good, solid level, and the rest of the team being the same damn team they've played with for months and months and months. Dignitas has gone through a restructuring, as we said. They're in a rebuilding period right now, Kret. They're still better than the large majority of teams, but I think they have to grow into this new lineup. By no means do I think that Dare to Care and Gnaw are bad players. I think that we saw a lot of strokes of genius come out. The ISIS play from Gnaw. The Raw play was good. 2, 3, and 5, that's what you want to see on your utility-oriented mid player. Gnaw really did what he had to do. Gab came out, really nailed a lot of the mechanics. It's just the synergy, Kret. A lot of these rotations that came from Cognitive Gaming were haphazard, disjointed, and just they knew what each player was going to do. Dignitas could not respond instantaneously like one cohesive unit could, and that's basically just weeks and weeks of practice. We will see this Dignitas lineup grow into themselves, and I have high hopes for the future. But right now, Cognitive is going to take them for a ride.
Yeah, Cog did a really good job here. The other thing I want to touch on is Dare to Care. I believe we only saw him play Geb today across the 3 games we saw Dignitas, which reminds me of the launch tournament where Dare to Care only played Geb. I actually think he only played Geb.
Dare to Care
if memory serves.
Definitely likes Geb, and to be fair, why
he's good at it.
Not Geb.
Yeah.
Independent, even if Dare to Care was a bad Geb, which he's certainly not, Geb is very strong.
That's definitely true, but I want to see Dare to Care expanding his god pool, because I think that's something that was so beneficial for him and for Cognitive Gaming in the pre-launch season. And so that's something I'm looking for. The other thing I want to mention, and here's one of the big points of this match, right? We mentioned how Cupid was going to be able to play this duo lane matchup. How do you think that really turned in favor of Cognitive? Like, what was the decider, aside from the fact that Barracuda is apparently just incredible at Merc ADC?
I really think it was what we talked about. I think that they were just running the duo lane over and over again. They were punishing the lack of practice between that duo lane, and then it transitioned into just objectives. And coming back from that sort of deficit is incredibly difficult. Once they gave Dignitas a carrot, and took it away with that Gold Fury, I don't think Dignitas had anything left in the sales.
All right, well, that's been our tournament for today, guys, and we've had a great time coming out and casting for you. Special thanks to my co-caster and ultra bestie F Dot. Thanks to Smite Central for putting this on, for the admin team, etc. Go ahead and drop us a follow on Twitter if you like what we're saying, like our casting. We'll be back next week with the Challenger Cup. NA and EU also joined by Hindu Man. So that is some exciting stuff, guys. Any final words, my friend?
Not at all. I'm glad we had a great contest come out here in our Battle for Olympus, and it should just be a taste of what you're going to see in the Conquest Cup. Don't forget, take your team together. Challengers Cup is where you play, and at some point, maybe you'll even transition and play against these guys that we saw in the finals today. All in all, the future of Smite Pro Sports is exciting, and we want you to be a part of it. So make sure you show up every weekend for that Challenger Cup.